What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 20 of my Total Warhammer 3 Ikit Claw Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, in a massive battle outside of Fyldorf, Chargelock and Morphific managed to destroy Balthazar Gelt and his minion armies, and then take his capital away from him. This now means that his faction is pretty much broken, with only Steingart and Migdal von Galbarak remaining. I am, however, hoping that Balthazar Gelt comes back for one more battle, simply because I really want his plus armor trait to be given to Morphific the Vomitus, who currently does not have it, and could really use it. Granted, he will probably not be continuing to use the slave army, because he has both Boommaster and badly mutated, and thus should be transitioned to a better lord, as in a proper army lord. Nonetheless, 6 armor is very, very worthwhile on quite a lot of units, and well, yeah, especially some of our units that are less armored, like clan rats and stuff, though I suppose the weapons teams are heavily armored themselves. They just don't have a lot of HP and not a lot of models. But anyway, I digress. This time we have to have Chargelock attack Mr. Eben von Leibwitz here, and I guess we want to take Wissenberg. I was thinking that maybe we leave it alone, but we could just take it to tier 1, and same thing with Dotternbach here. And then just take Nuln at tier 3 or 4. Of course, that'll put us in a position where we're liable to get attacked by Imperial forces, but we do have the Vamps to this side, and we have the Ogres to this side. I'm also still thinking that it's probably going to be a good idea to try to force the Ogres to fight the Vamps, and that would force the Vamps to essentially take over these territories, which would allow us to steal it from the Ogres. I especially can't let the Ogres have the Moot, because I think that would be pretty good for us. I don't know what it would specifically do for the Skaven, as I don't remember, but I do want it. Anyway, Eben, you're on the menu first, so let's attack you. We don't really need the buffs here. He has no chance against this army, and it was an ambush as well. Oh, that hurts. We're gonna do this regular style. The enemy is in march stance, and once again, they have no chance. So I don't think this necessitates a cinematic battle. We'll find a better one, as in a better battle. We just have to figure out a decent position for ourselves to be in, where the enemy can't reach us. Fortunately, most of them are infantry, but we do still potentially have to deal with those Empire captains and the general leading them. All of them with fantastic mustaches, though, I gotta say. If there's one thing that we're jealous of, it's those mustaches. Now, start deployment. Ooh, we have a nice hill up here. We could just bombard them with our warp lightning cannons like this. They have no cav or anything like that. Maybe something like that, and do we want to separate into 2 groups? I don't think so. Let's just allow our warp fire throwers to kill them as they get near, and we can blob up. It doesn't really matter. Let's do that. And the mortars can fire, of course, over all this stuff, and are they in range? Let's see. But you here? Yes, they are. As long as they don't target the enemy lords and stuff. Well, let's see if we can't get our U2 in there. And let's hide a couple units of warp grinders here in case some enemies catch up. And I think you can't be hidden, but you can move out from here and attack the single unit of knights and crossbows if it comes down to it. Alrighty, and then you're kind of beat up, but I'm sure you'll be okay. Do we want to spread out the warp fire throwers a little bit? Maybe a little bit, like so. And, okay, now the only thing that concerns me is the cannons. How about this? Alright, that looks good to me. Start battle. Wait, no, don't start battle. Everybody turn off skirmish mode. Let's not have that screw us over. And here we go now. Alright, you go for your blob reduction, i.e. the brass orb, and let's see if we can't find these enemy heroes. Ooh, you 2 are on foot. Oh, that sucks. And oh my lord. Okay, no, get away from that. Get away from that. you're gonna get killed by our own warp lightnings. I didn't think they'd all go for the lord there, but clearly they did. Yeah, that was pretty funny though. You guys just stay away. You guys get ready to seismic snare. Right here. And the snare now. Perfect. Now those knights can't move, and hopefully all of our units don't get killed here, and just prevent the knights from doing anything else. Good. How's the rest of those units looking? And oh, look, the enemy lord's coming back. And you can get away from the enemy. Mostly I just wanted the enemy to move in here, and I think the enemy lord's actually going to rout still. Alright, you two just get ready to prevent the enemy from hitting the front lines. You can buff yourself. I'm not even going to bother telling our units what things to kill. It shouldn't matter. Alright. The warp fire thrower should be able to handle most of this. And where's our lord again? Where are you? You're up here. And another lightning out there. And, okay, you are good, and you are good. Go fight the enemy heroes, and let's just keep watching the Burnination. It's a pseudo-cinematic in this particular sense. There we go. Hey, they're working their way up the hill, so they're at least accomplishing something. Well, let's not say accomplishing something, but they're trying. They're trying their best. Not for long, though. And, okay, we nearly caught those knights, and there we go, battle is ours. Yeah, I think the only damage we really took here was damage to ourselves that the Warp Lightning Cannons did by hitting our own chieftains. Also, did the enemy lord survive? Yeah, he did. I wonder if we could catch him. You, go out there. You try to fire on. You could probably get one volley out, but it would probably fail here. The enemy is actually in march stance, so no, actually, none of this matters. Because they're all going to be dead anyway. Beautiful. Yeah, I think one of our units of warp grinders took a little bit of damage, but it was only HP damage and no models died since it's at 0 losses, so... Alright, come on now. The loading. The terrible loading. One of the things to be said for cinematic battles is I tend to cut out the loading times to a pretty decent degree. We are going to take the money here because we can't really heal up and it wouldn't work on these guys anyway. So sell those off. And I didn't check how much food we got, but hopefully some. And then I guess we attack Wissenberg. I would love to sack it, but because Kazrak is here, he'll take it if we don't loot and occupy it, by the looks of it. Or he'll destroy it, so... In that light, I guess we have no choice. We're gonna auto-resolve this. Not too much damage. And hey, Kazrak helped as well. And, 4.4k, so we lose 2k for this, but it's better than Kazrak taking the territory over. Loot and occupied at tier 1. Potion of Foolhardiness, a trait for charge lock, and... Wow, what the heck happened here? Did he almost die to that auto-resolve? Whoa, I should have checked that. Yeah, we gotta be careful with the auto-resolve in this army, I keep forgetting. Because the AI, essentially, or the auto-resolve, essentially thinks that only these 3 units enter combat, and everybody else just fights from range, I guess? I don't know why the Doomflayers and the Warp Grinders don't apply. It keeps hurting our Lord and Heroes. I don't like that, but, you know. It's auto-resolve. You gotta get used to it. Now, in terms of what we're getting here, definitely want to get Warp Smart for those Warp Lightning Cannons. It also buffs Doomflayers and... And Doom Wheels. Yes, perfect. Wait, it gives spell resistance to... Doom Wheels as well. Oh, yes, that's nice. And the Skaven weapons teams. Nice. Anything else we need here? I think just like Ikit, none of this is going to be useful here. Yeah, alright, just get stand or die, and I suppose we can start moving either through your blue tree, or your... Well, we can also get you Scarred Veteran. You've been taking damage a little bit, missing that second wind serum that Ikit has. And especially since you don't have that buff that your friend Morphific has that gives you an extra 20k HP, or 20k, you wish, 20% HP. Although, the points probably wouldn't be as beneficial to this army nearly as going through Blue Line or going through Arcane Conduit and getting a few more spells. Certainly could have used a few of these occasionally. Do we go for Renown of Fear? How much does this army cost to run right now? It's 4.3k. It'll be a little bit more once these two are replaced by Doom Wheels. Yeah, it could be reduced. Could certainly be reduced. You know what, fine. Let's start going through Ancient Cunning for the ambush increase chance then. And then just in case, we're going to level these two guys up because we might get attacked. Fervor for you. And Fervor for you. Perfect. Yeah, there's a decent chance that Gustav here tries to siege us with his army, and we'll have to be very careful about not getting Chargelock here killed. Especially, he can't even cast, because if he miscasts, he'll kill himself. I have a feeling these guys are going to siege us, but I'm fairly confident that we can fight them off, even without the use of our Lord. It'll be fine. Alrighty, now, you guys are good, and I believe that's everybody that has to move. Mutant is still frickin' stuck, because Carl might be coming for Paravent, but I really doubt that he'd be able to kill it, A, and B, Ikit's coming for him anyway. We have no buildings to build, and no diplomacy to do, but there is one thing that I want to mention. At the end of last episode, and I forgot to say this, I realized that we could get a couple of Tuskor chariots into Morphific's army in particular, as we do want some fast-moving units in the secondary army to help out Chargelock, and we were also almost maxed out in allegiance belonging to Morgur here. So, yeah, decided to do that, and I also decided to summon a single Packmaster here at Myrmidons, mostly because I noticed that there was a Packmaster with Disciplined trait, which will work out nicely for whatever army he's going to be in. Probably temporarily in the Plague army, but then he'll move to a Molder army later on. I think that's everything. Well, let's end the turn, and let's see if Chargelock gets attacked by Gustav. Alright, Disciples of the Maw, looks like they still have no force, but there's... why aren't the dwarves taking their stuff, damn it? Come on, dwarves. They're just not... they're not doing a good job. I don't appreciate it. I'm sure they'll get better later on, and you want a non-aggression pact. I actually thought that they'd try to declare war on us to retake Ekrund, but no, apparently not. And we're not going to do that because there's no real reason to, right? When the Wa comes... I'm actually not sure. Is it only Grimgore's faction, or is it all the Orky factions? Hey, look, Burning Wind Nomads are dead. I wonder who is responsible for that one. Breeder, yes, sure. Mutant got control, ready for duty, Cypress... Ramamute. Carl is raiding rather than trying to attack Mutant. That's kind of interesting. Whoa! Hero capacity +1 for Plague Priests. How did we get this? Idle in a region with an order building. Excuse me? What the heck is an order building? The Taskmaster's platform. So you're telling me we get a bunch of heroes and idle them in territory... Oh, but you have... Huh. No, he didn't level up. He didn't level up while idle in a region with an order building. Okay, wait. Stay here. Wait, do we need to take this away from him? Who can use these things? Bell Polisher. Is it only these guys, or is it other heroes as well? Let me see here. You, for example, can you use the Bell Polisher? Where is it? Yes, you can. You don't need to carry it right now, but it's just interesting. What about Ikit's 2 Warlock Engineers? Where's Ikit? He should be here. Can they carry Bell Polishers? Yes, they can. Okay, you know what? Take the Bell Polisher from that guy, and we'll keep Ramamute standing there beside the order building. We may also then want to temporarily summon another one of these guys, just to stand in a different order building. Like here, for example. No, we can't summon these guys here. Not until next turn. Or 3 turns, actually, which is much more than next turn. Okay, well, I like the idea. Anything that increases capacity is massive, because it means we won't have to build a bunch of unnecessary military buildings. You keep going to Skaven Blight. And you stay here, I guess, and then we'll just summon another one. And then we'll delete them once a better one comes up. Let's go for campaign movement range. We're not keeping any of these guys anyway. At least not right now. And then you can go to, it doesn't really matter, go to, I don't know, Miragliano. I might be superstitious, but I feel like they both can't get those things when they're in the same province. Once again, I may be completely wrong, and I probably am. But nonetheless, I'm gonna do that. Chargelock. It looks like you might be able to attack Gustav here, and okay, that'll be an actual fight. Ratmech, you need to move forward as well. Also, it feels like it's been a while since our Undercities have expanded. Yeah. And especially considering nearly all of them have the plus 10% expansion things. Oh well, not a big deal. Let's see who else needs to move. Ikit's good, charge... Well, actually, Ikit, you are not good. Why am I lying? you have two options. You can head to Gisoro. Castle Baston can defend itself, and oh, look, Mousillon's been destroyed by Morgar. You know what? Morgar is... yeah, Morgar can have it. I'm tempted to send Grom the Paunch to occupy Mousillon and Lyonesse. Well, actually, we want the pastures at Lyonesse, but not at the cost of having the elves identify us. They can't actually see us right now, since we can't talk to them. Which means we shouldn't go any more north than we are at Bordelot, at least not right now. Yeah, you know what? Let's maybe take Gisoro, but later. I'm not sure whether taking Castle Artois would identify the High Elves for us, but I am sure that if we take Montfort, Karl would be stuck, wouldn't he? He can't move forward past this, and he can't move back. He might be able to cross this, but maybe not. Actually, it would be hilarious if he got stuck. Go to Montfort. Oh, and the Barrow Legions. Oh, right, they died earlier. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take their mountains for ourselves. We're gonna fight this. We're gonna fight this in regular style, non-cinematically, but the reason for that is I suspect that if we go here, what'll happen is Karl will attack us together with the Second Army, and they will actually try to fight Ikit. It will end horribly for them, of course, but they will try, so we don't want to auto-resolve because it'll do too much damage to us. So before doing that, let's move whoever else needs to move. You're gonna attack Gustav here. And you know what? Maybe we'll attack right now. Let's do this one to separate the cinematic battles. So let's go attack Gustav. Hopefully he doesn't run across the river here. No, he's not even gonna run. Close victory. Okay, we'll see about that. I mean, I suppose they do have 3 units of Reiksguard that we will have to deal with. But I still think that this one might be worthy of a cinematic. If nothing else, we'll be able to watch our Warp Lightning cannons rip things apart again, and it's always just so enjoyable. Here we go. Alrighty, oh, I love watching them all fire at the same time. Of course, it's not very efficient. It was just the first volley that started the game, or the battle rather, as obviously the units can only aim at the first target they see, but then we're gonna obviously switch targets. That said, that single volley nearly halved the HP of the enemy unit of Reiksguard, which between the 3 of those units are the most threatening on the field. And there we go. Now we're gonna start switching those units, and the enemy's gonna have to advance uphill, and oh, you're gonna fire. Okay, they're gonna fire one more time on this unit of Reiksguard. Oh yeah, there's a thing where you switch an artillery piece, but it fires one more time on the thing that it was previously locked on, wasn't there? I think it was something along those lines. There we go. Now I think these 2 should finish this unit of Reiksguard off, but everybody else has now switched targets, though this one is going a little bit wide trying to hit the other one, but to be fair, it is moving up a hill, so it's not the ideal position. Now the enemy has to continue marching towards us now, not just towards the Warp Lightnings, but also towards the mortars. We're going to start hopefully doing a lot of damage to those relatively slow infantry. And we have the Poison Wind on them as well, which will dish out damage over time. Duke have to be careful with Charge Lock, as he's going to start taking damage from those crossbows, and is going to immediately move away and just drive around, hopefully without taking too much damage, while casting his Brass Orb and the occasional Warp Lightning. Enemy is starting to approach those, so we do have to be wary. Well, let's see if they can reach the front lines. Here come the Warp Fire Throwers. I don't imagine that the enemy has too much of a chance there, at least with regards to the infantry, but it does have its general moving in on a mount. Wait, that's an Archlector, not a general. But it's okay, we can send in our 2 chieftains to hopefully deal with him, though he will silence one of the Warp Fire Throwers. Will that be enough to allow the enemy to close the distance? Somehow I doubt it. This army has just way too many Warp Fire Throwers, even if they aren't as buffed as Ikit's personal Warp Fire Throwers are. Anyway, looks like most of the enemy infantry is getting the heck out of here. Ah, Skaven armies are just so fun. And ooh, looks like this unit managed to reach us, though very, very close, and it's gonna rout just before it does any damage to us. Unfortunately for them, and it looks like the rest of the army is going to chain rout as well. I also want to point out that the enemy lord got surrounded and nearly killed by the chieftains, though he does look like he did a little bit of damage to one of them. Guess we need a little bit more melee defense, although actually, you have 18 melee attack right now, with the debuffs and only 30 at that, so probably shouldn't be doing that much damage to these guys anyway. Well, good job to everybody. We are going to give chase with our warp fire throwers as best we can, though of course they're a little bit too slow to do a great job of it. And of course our warp lightning cannons can continue to fire this entire time. A really nice position. You gotta love it when the map gives you a massive hill to then deploy all your weapons teams and artillery on. I'm also excited to see the comparison of the eventual the eventual Plague Claw Catapult army, or the Plague Army, that's going to have a bunch of Plague Claw Catapults, as compared to this army, which has a bunch of Warp Lightning Cannons instead. Of course, generally speaking, in later game, the Warp Lightning Cannons, once again, are probably vastly superior, but we're still relatively early, and I don't think it will matter too much, or at least I hope not. We'll see what happens when we start running into Chosen and stuff like that. That's where you want the Warp Lightning Cannons knocking models out and doing a lot of armor piercing. And of course the problem with the Plague Claws is that they also can't, they don't do anything to larger targets, so they're not going to be too effective against the single entities, and they're also not going to be super effective against cavalry either. Anyway, let's speed this up. I was just enjoying watching the spectacle of everybody getting burninated and lightninged and mortared at the same time. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's speed up the rest of that while we give chase. As pleasant as it is. I'm sure Chargelock has more battles, although he's still very badly damaged. Not from this battle, of course, he kind of started damaged, but we're gonna need to be careful with him. The problem is, every time we cast, we run the risk of miscasting and hurting him, and then problem is that he's not really healing up. Maybe we want to give him Ikit's Potion of Toughness for a little bit. Gotta think about that. We'll see if we can heal him up, because if we can't, a few uses of that Potion of Toughness will at least partially fix the problem, and at least until we get a Potion of Healing. Well, that went pretty darn well. We basically took no damage whatsoever. 2 unit losses, and I have a suspicion that those unit losses were probably due to friendly fire, as I'm not entirely sure where those units could have died. Yeah, alrighty. We will not heal up because it's useless right now. Let's sell off. And yeah, let's sell off. Keep raking that money in. We do need more money after all. And hello. The remnants of this army moved outside of Nome. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. And that's real nice because Chargelock would then attack this guy, forcing the residents of Nome to probably help him out. These guys are allied. Yes, yes. Okay, that's amazing. Which will allow us to essentially destroy this without having to deal with the garrison of Nome. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nikolaus von Karstein. Cheeky devs. For those who don't know, Nikolaus von Karstein is Count Noctilus, who is the leader of the Dreadfleet faction, who is a separate lord here. But it's ironic that they have him here as well. I mean, it's obviously not him. There's somebody with an identical name, but I have a feeling that one was on purpose. Anyway, that made me laugh. Let's see what else we gotta do this turn. Chargelock, you are going to... yeah, you're gonna do this in a few seconds. Morphific, can you leave this right now? I wanted you to hit Steingart. The question is, will Claude von Sigurd, be able to attack Wissenberg? And it's pretty likely that he would. We probably can't hold it. Of course, Chargelock would then be able to recover it immediately. It is only a level 1, so we don't really care that much about it. I feel like we're better off just destroying this faction. Also, how are the dwarfs looking? Yeah, still haven't taken the ogres out. Why are you so disappointing, Karazakrak? What are you doing? You have 6 settlements. I guess, oh, they're probably fighting Crooked Moon and Grimgor at the same time. Actually, they're not fighting Grimgor, they're fighting Crooked Moon and the Bloody Hands, so they're basically completely surrounded, but you could at least go in this direction as well. I also got to try to get that relationship up with Clan Moors, because, well, we want to have a nice Skaven covering the world sort of thing. Anyway, Morphific, you then are going to push outwards towards Steingart. Let's have you get your point then, and that point will go into... You have engineering skill, but we don't know what else we'd be putting in here, so I think we'll wait on that one. I guess we can... Well, I could get you power overload. Or we could... Let's see, you don't need Howling Warpgale for fighting the Empire, at least not right now, though we will probably need it for fighting the Vamps later on. I'm tempted to just go for Looter. Or not Looter, Ancient Cunning, rather. Everybody's gonna go through the blue line eventually, anyway. Yeah, fine. Let's start on Ancient Cunning. Not going to be of any use this turn, but it will be of use eventually. Go at Steingart, and you should be able to auto-resolve this, I think. Yeah. A little bit of damage to the Skaven slaves, and we lost a couple of our Tuskor chariots. Are Tuskor chariots fixed? Didn't they used to be broken? There used to be some kind of problem with them, something to do with their speed and being obnoxious. Well, I guess we'll find out. That might have been a long time ago, I don't remember. Sack. And you can occupy it at level 1 as well. Once again, I'm not super keen on wasting food on these territories, nearly as much as the main territories. You can, however, switch to growth, and speaking of growth, we can get... You can go into expansionist planning for now, because we'll need the growth. Do we go for the Arcane Generator to increase our money? Do we go for basic cheap stuff? Do we go for the Taskmaster's platform to increase the control so we don't have to come back here? I feel like we go for the control, at least for now. And these new provinces, we really don't need to be babysitting them. Alright, and then we'll see if Balthazar Gelt comes back by the time we reach Migdal and Galbarak. Hopefully this little army can actually take it with Gelt sitting there. After all, it's mostly Skaven slaves. Although the Tuskor chairs, I'm sure, will help. Anyway, that's fine as it is. Let's see what else we gotta do. Mutin, you are staying where you are. A Remamute. You, however, are going towards this army because you're gonna sail together. And let's build the buildings, then we'll fight with Ikit, I guess. And by fight, yeah, we'll fight this manually real quick, non-cinematically, but then I assume we'll have a nice big cinematic battle against Karl. So let's try to do this quickly here. Telia, let's start with you. We have another point in the Warp Forge, good. Vaults, get that Taskmaster's platform upgraded. You, Taskmaster's platform similarly. River Brienne, yes, and yes, this place is going to be an absolutely massive cash cow. Black Mountains. Yeah, we should also try to do our best to try to get all the good ports, the money ports, so Bordelot, Marienburg, Erengrad, and to some degree Kofor. It's not like a super port, but it'll give us bonus money. I wonder if we still get 400. We don't get anything from Pyrus unless I'm mistaken. It's just for them. And do we get anything out of Zandri? No, it's just Tomb Kings. Okay, well, all that money just sitting there, being wasted by the AI. Vidrioth, yes to the growth upgrade, and... Huh. Actually, once these places are at tier 2, we simply replace one of these things with a Taskmaster's platform, then start collecting income. It's not going to be a lot of income, but it'll be some. And we probably will never upgrade them past tier 3. But I think that'll work. Okay, everything's built. Yes, yes, looks good to me. Let's have Ikit quickly attack Montfort. Since he can't move, he'll have to occupy it rather than sacking it, but not a big deal. And, oh, they have some Trebs. That's not going to help them. Fight. I'm really excited at the prospect of Karl attacking us with a massive army. And I do wonder if he's on... no, I want to say Deathclaw? if he's on his flying mount. If he is, it'll help us out. I love how it's actually a liability to get a flying mount when fighting against Skaven. So basically all the best mounts are now the worst mounts. Dragons, Terrorgeists, etc, etc. Alrighty, start deployment. Where would it be easier to bombard from? I want to say this looks pretty okay. Alright, so here's what we'll do. Zap zap here. Let's say like that. You here. You here. Don't want the trees to interfere. And then we'll go you two here. Hopefully you don't get immediately targeted by the Treb, but we'll see. And then Death Mortar, let's say, behind you. Ikit, you can move forward as you please. Let's put one of the... Ooh. You know what? Let's put you guys together so that you benefit from the aura of the Warlock Engineers. Like so. Okie dokie, and then let's say 3 Rattling Guns here, 2 Warp Fire Throwers. The enemy's not going to sally out, so it doesn't really matter what we do with these guys. Here, and you guys? Who's left? Who did I forget? What the heck is over there? Oh, one of the Rattling Guns. Oh, right, because of this garbage. This Rattling Gun should be here, and this Warplock Giselle should be here. I did say that was going to bother me for the entire campaign, and I think that's come to be pretty true. Now, where is the enemy Trebuchet? Oh, Trebuchet? Why do I not see you? What's that symbol? It's got... Huh, I wonder if it's up there somewhere and we can't see it. Oh, is it up here? Yes, it is. Oh, can they actually get a shot off? Huh, interesting. If they can arc through that building, that'd be pretty nice. Alrighty, while the bombardment proceeds and the enemy can do nothing about it, let's do that. And, oh damn, I forgot to give Ikit his, I forgot to give him his Forbidden Rod. Nakari wanted to give him his Forbidden Rod, but it didn't work out, because Nakari's dead. Or at least it seems that Nakari is dead. Let's kill that Treb. Down you go. With a terror below, and you know what? Let's have you guys go up and kill this tower. Warp Fire Throwers move away. How's that enemy army looking? Ikit, oh, the tower's actually firing on Ikit? Yeah, good luck with that. Alright, Giselles and... Okay, all of you, group 2, move together, let's say up here. You guys, group 3, move together, let's say up here. Rattling Guns, take care of the tower, please. Ikit's in the middle of the enemy army, but he's not afraid of anything that they can do. I also wanted to try the Storm Demon against an enemy lord. It seems to be pretty okay against blobs of units. I like how Ikit can just like move through the entire enemy army, it doesn't care. Ooh, is that a unit of Knights Errant? Yes it is. Let's try Storm Demon against them. We've only had opportunity to use it like once or twice so far, so I'd really love to test it out a little bit more. And he's firing. Let's see, they're at full HP, right? Yes. And there it is. He knocked out 7 of them. Pretty good. Decent amount of HP damage. Alright, the bombardment continues. Still nobody's harmed. I'm kind of tempted to speed up this battle, because it's a trivial one that we would normally auto-resolve if it wasn't for the fact that we're liable to get attacked by Carl next turn. And you guys... move forward a little bit more here. You guys move forward a little bit more here. Maybe we should start moving the Rattling Guns and Warp Fire Throwers in. You guys start moving up here, and oh. Looks like there's an enemy tower firing at us. Let's go here. Alright, and let's speed it up a little bit. Like so. Ikit, do you have another brass orb? Indeed you do, my friend. And hello. If it isn't the enemy lord, use the scroll on him. And this is just direct damage, right? It just slows him down, but Rattling Guns, can you attack him? Yes, indeed you can. Alright, Howling Warp Gale time. Oh, you can't reach him? Damn, my bad. My bad. Howling Warp Gale now. He's nearly dead anyway. Alright, and everybody else should be able to take care of him, and maybe the entire enemy army will rout as soon as this is dead. Let's speed it back up to max this time. And... oh, he's gonna land. Okay, fine. I thought he'd die. Ikit's gonna take some splash damage from his own friends here, but we can always just second wind serum, and the battle should be nearly over. Hey, Knights, Ikit, you don't want to be fighting Knights. Summon a menace below there, and run away. Oh, this does actually draw the Knights forward, though. It feels so weird to be playing at max speed, though. And, alright. Clanstone here, and let's go here. Alright, I guess we need to move into the city. I was honestly expecting the battle to have ended by now. And the rattling guns, move up. Ow. Okay, go here and destroy the, like, little blockade area. You... Oh, now you end. As soon as I think about moving the units in, that's when it ends. Okay, fair enough. Ikit, I just want you to fire something so that you activate your second wind serum and heal yourself to full, please. There's your Storm Demon. And there's another cast. And speed up to max. Oh, use your Potion of Toughness as well. Alright. He should be full HP. Once again, normally I wouldn't bother with that. That was very much auto-resolvable. It's just... Carl. Oh wow, 63 damage on the Ikit Zap, and 13 and 10k on the Plague Claws. And this is why the Plague Claws do have a place in this army. Because of their arc, they're able to do a lot more damage in sieges and in these pseudo-sieges of these minor settlements, whereas the Warp Lightning Cannons aren't really capable of doing so. So either we replace these with mortars, or we keep them as they are, and once again, they're pretty okay in Ikit's army. If they die, we'll replace them. Where is this again? This is Montfort. We'll take it at tier 1. And we can't sack it, so loot and occupy. And what is this? Hello. Ambush success chance was 5, Scrying Stone, ability damage resistance plus 20, and leadership plus 8. Too bad it's an arcane item. If it was a regular item, I'd love to give this to one of our chieftains, but this might work on one of our basic lords. And by basic lords, I mean other warlock masters that are not Ikit. We've also captured this province, upgraded immediately, and let's put you to expansion as planning for now. And just for the extra growth. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Carl... Well, actually, he can return to Helmgard. Ah, he could just move past Montfort. But I'm still thinking he'll attack. No guarantee, of course, but there's a very good chance. He only has one way to go. Either he runs away, in which case Ikit goes after him, or he doesn't, in which case Ikit goes after Helmgard. Yeah, we'll see. Before I forget, the Warpstorm Scroll. I do like the fact that it provides 25% spell resistance, but Ikit is the best carrier of the Forbidden Rod. We'll lose 15% spell resistance, but we can always give it back to him later on. Yes, take the Forbidden Rod, because we'll just heal it, plus we can combine it with Power Overwhelming, or what's it called again? Overwhelming Power? Unlimited Power. I'm still going to call it Power Overwhelming, I can't stop. And I guess we give the scroll to one of these guys, or we could give it to one of our other lords. At least temporarily, for the extra spell resistance. Like, what is Chargelock currently using? He's using a Trickster Shard. I do like the miscast base chance reduction, but he has no spell resistance whatsoever. On the other hand, he does cast a lot more, and if he has... I'm not sure. You know what, let's hold off on that. I feel like he's the only caster here, and him being already hurt means that if he suffers damage, it's not so good. Now the question is... I was hoping to fight Carl this episode, but I think we're gonna have to fight this episode instead, because we probably should take Nome. And therefore, we're gonna fight it right now. Well, let's attack Gustav, we'll draw out the garrison, let's level up first, however. We were going through Ancient Cunning, unless I'm mistaken. We have Brass Orb, we have... Yeah, we have pretty much everything else that's useful here, so Ancient Cunning. You two level up, and then we go into battle. Yeah, you have Blade Master, and I guess Thick-Skinned is the next thing, although, you know, the speed would also be quite useful. You guys are less likely to get damaged and more likely to be running around chasing stuff. Let's get Fleet-Footed. Normally I don't care for the speed upgrades, but for certain things... if you can't catch an enemy lord, you're not doing any damage, right? So, yeah. Alright, go. And close victory, but casualties low. I always find that interesting, that it's a close victory, but the casualties will be low. Anyway, I guess we'll fight this cinematically. Let's watch Chargelock rip things apart one more time, and then take Nome. Alrighty, here we go, round 2 for Chargelock. I suppose it's his day today, as he is getting to play a lot, and that feels appropriate, since now that we have his army retrofitted, he can function on his own just like Ikit can, and should be able to defeat most armies that he encounters by himself without needing the slave army as reinforcement. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off fighting the little mini force, the remains of that other force, and destroying them, while the main enemy stack is going to arrive as a reinforcement. Reiksguard are going to charge in. Well, wait, those are not Reiks. Yes, they are. Those are Reiksguard, and there's an Archlector there. We'll see if either one of them manages to survive this. He's running around trying to dodge mortars. Ooh, that was a nice shot from the Warp Lightnings. And these guys are almost getting there, but then run into those Warp Fire Throwers, who stagger them and prevent them from moving further. Well, isn't that lovely? And down they go. Absolutely horrifying. And I do believe the enemy lord is dead as well. This is either his horse or one of the Reiksguard's horse, but the little army is dead. Now, this battle... Wait, let me just see here for a second. We are actually deployed contrary to the last fight that Chargelock did at the bottom of the hill, the lower slope. Is this actually the same map where last time we deployed like here and the enemy was here? Huh, looks kind of familiar. Maybe that was the case, I'm not entirely sure, or even something like this. I suppose it doesn't matter that much. But anyway, this at least gives the enemy the advantage of approaching us behind the hill, while the where the Warp Lightnings can't fire, and I suppose that's one of the advantages of the Plague Claw catapults, because there they actually could. Now the enemy is getting onto the field, and if they are going to spend lots and lots of time moving towards us, we might as well annoy them as best we can. Skryre, Clanstone, or Skryre, Clanstone every time. Brass Orb, Warp Lightning, and Scorch going down and dishing out a little bit of damage to some of their units. Really not all that much though, to be perfectly honest. I do have to wonder whether it would have been more effective to use Flensing Ruin here. Enemy isn't quite a blob after all, or Crack's Call, but anyway, we're going to speed this up a little bit. Chargelock's going to continue running away, and we're going to allow the enemy to crest these hills and to continue taking damage. Empire Knights now moving in, though not nearly as threatening as those Reiksguard are, and they still have to move through a lot of our range stuff. Oh, I love watching the charges as they try to move in with the mortars. Dropping alongside them, and they moved a little bit. I thought that we might need to move Chargelock in, but it looks like the Burnination is gonna once again stop the horses in their tracks. And they will rout just like that, much quicker than the Reiksguard would. Same thing happening on this side, and these guys should be just about dead as well. I always find it bizarre when the AI decides to move its cavalry in by itself to charge directly at the front of your ranged army, while its melee army, or I should say the biggest part of the army, most of the army, is still slowly approaching. Why sacrifice your cavalry like this? It's very odd. And I know this behavior only occurs when the enemy army comes in as a reinforcement. Well, okay, maybe only is the wrong word. It sometimes occurs nonetheless, because usually the AI likes to move them around and try to flank you or something, though sometimes it still charges you straight up. I suppose it does often depend on the type of cav. But yeah, in this situation, the enemy is just trying to join the battle, since these guys are all reinforcements. And here they go, they crest the hill, and now they have to take all that sustained... Do we still call it bombardment when it's Warp Lightning cannons? I mean, it is an artillery piece, or artillery bombardment. Yeah, well, they can enjoy themselves. Alrighty, here comes our second use, I believe, of the Menace Below, trying to stop some enemies in their tracks. Another Skryre Clanstone, another Brass Orb, and another spell coming down, and just to help out the Warp Lightning Cannon a little bit. More lightning everywhere. Can't be a bad thing. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. We also gotta get an army where it has lots of mortars. Maybe less artillery pieces and lots of mortars, just to see the performance. And of course we will be getting some death globes eventually, though I'm not entirely sure which army as yet. And I do want to build up our economy a little bit further. Ooh, looks like we're gonna start taking some shots from the enemy handgunners as the enemy army does move in. I'm gonna back away with our warp grinders, but also move around with our doom flayers in order to silence those handgunners. And imagine being a medieval soldier and just moving into piles of warp fire throwers. So ridiculous. Yeah, armor's not gonna help you against that. There we go. But at least the rats are having a good time. And let's see what the enemy has left now. The balance of power is about 75, maybe 80% in our favor. I also just noticed that the enemy lord is a huntsman general, so we're going to have to use one of the warp lightnings to kill him. I'm going to have to be careful about him possibly trying to kill Chargelock, who is still very much hurt, though is still providing some casting support. Otherwise, there are some enemy units that are trying to get around our flanks here. We use our warp grinders to use their seismic snare and stop the enemy from running in order to hopefully move some of our warp fire throwers around and send a chieftain to counter their charge, distract them, and burninate them with the warp fire throwers. Honestly, using warp fire throwers as quote-unquote melee line is just so fun. Who needs clan rats, I suppose? Especially when the warp fire throwers are basically as expensive as clan rats, or actually might be cheaper in this army. What were they costing in this army? Like 75 or something like that? I think they're actually cheaper than clan rats. Which is pretty ridiculous considering. Considering what it takes probably to outfit one of these guys. And gonna use that Verminous Valor, which looks quite nice. That was the Verminous Valor effect, right? Don't 100% remember the name of the ability. Yes, it is Ruinous Valor. Okay, lovely. And at the same time, the Warp Fire Throwers... Now I'm thinking that the Verminous Valor probably knocks a bunch of enemy units apart, which probably prevented the Warp Fire Throwers from doing as much damage as they'd like to. And though that said, I don't think it's going to change matters. Although, these guys are starting to approach, but it won't be enough as the enemy army decides to rout. Ah, Chargelock, you do good work, my friend. And I do like the fact that because of our focus on Warp Fire Throwers and Warp Lightning Cannons, despite the fact that this army is similarly all-ranged, similarly to Ikit, it functions completely differently. Ikit doesn't have the chieftains, he doesn't have nearly as many Warp Fire Throwers, and he only has his own one Zap Zap as opposed to 5 artillery pieces, and all Warp Lightning at that. So I do like that. If nothing else, we can have multiple different types of Skryre armies, and later on we're probably going to try to get at least one with a bunch of Doom Wheels and Doom Flayers. I do have to wonder how effective such an army would be against enemies with lots of cavalry in their army, but I suppose the Doom Wheels would eventually be able to bring them down with all of their own Warp Lightning. I guess we'll see later on. Yeah, there's lots of potential with the Skryre armies. Whereas, for example, with the Pestilence armies, it feels like you mostly have relatively close compositions. Yeah, you could play around a little bit with the numbers of Plague Monks versus the numbers of Censer Bearers, but it's not going to be all that different. Anyway, there we go. Another decisive victory for Chargelock. Every rat gets his day, I suppose, and he can continue moving in further into the Empire. Great. Man, Chargelock's never gonna be able to heal up, is he? He's always so badly hurt. And wait, if we go eat captives, yeah, no, it doesn't help. It doesn't help, and wow, sell-off is basically nothing as well. I suppose we will have to auto-resolve the settlement garrison, and that'll still do like 100 unit kills against us, so maybe we eat the captives just for these minor damages here. Eat captives it is. And now that that's done, out of curiosity, how much movement range do you have? Not much. Not much, and I think we have to then capture it rather than sack it. Fortunately, the sack value isn't that much, so it doesn't feel that wasteful. Now, the question is, do we take it at tier 3 or 4? If we take it at 4, will we go down to orange? Well, I guess we'll find out in a second. Auto-resolve will not kill Chargelock. Good. Though, very, very poor Chargelock. We need to get a healing potion some way, and then just give it to Chargelock and let him heal up in battle. Yeah, tier 4 takes us down to orange, though hopefully not for long. It really hurts that this is going to screw up our construction cost, and the control swing also hurts, but we do get food back fairly quickly, so let's capture Nome at tier 4. I'd rather capture more of these territories at tier, like the capitals at tier 4, and leave the minor settlements at low tiers. Loot and occupy. Alrighty, there you go, another man-thing slave, and hello, what do we have here? Ooh, a melee attack hex. That's not bad. And that's not bad at all. Hex, a shield of distraction. We'll have to give that to an army that is liable to actually fight in melee, which is probably going to be Shife's Plague army. Anyway, with that, we are unfortunately out of... Oh, hello. You're able to build assassins. We could get one on the field just to assassinate folks. Oh, you have Perceptive. Oh, we may actually want to keep you around for an actual assassin. Ambush success chance plus 10 for armies in local region. That might be useful. Let's summon you. And I'm kind of tempted to summon the Perceptive one just to put him in some army for a while, to level up if nothing else. What do these guys do in terms of buffing? If anything, you have Concealment Bombs, Venomous Blades, which is completely useless on you in particular, but you're going to be a field agent, so that doesn't matter. And you have no actual buffs for things like Night Runners, Gutter Runners, Death Runners, etc. Triads, any Eshin unit. I feel like these guys should have some minor Eshin unit buff, but I suppose it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're going to be a field agent. And I guess, you know what, we'll leave you for now. I don't want to pay an extra 250 gold per turn, but we probably will want to assassinate some things, and you can also assault garrisons, assault units, so there will be use for you, if nothing else. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to call it here. Next time we will, I suppose, continue advancing into the Empire, making a nice little wall, essentially, that separates us from the vampires before we inevitably betray them and attack them. The Empire looks to be in pretty bad shape as well, and I'm hoping that Carl will fall next episode, as he might be attacking Ikit Claw. And very much suffering for it, though his armies are weak. Maybe he won't even try, but even if he doesn't, then we'll attack Helmgart and draw him into the fight, which will change nothing. Anyway, stay tuned for more rats, don't forget to leave a like and comment, all glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.